Here I am. I'm sitting up here in my wildlife studio on a very blustery day. It's not cold. And I'm looking at some of the pictures here I got from last night, how many deer were in here. Oh boy, the wind is blowing. This place is creaking. But I'm not scared. It's just nice. I really enjoyed it. I wish I could sit back and relax. I don't even have the heat on today. That's how nice it is. It's up around 56 in here. So I didn't put the heat on. It's not cold. It's sort of nice out even. But the wind is terrific. And of course this place is creaking and squeaking like an old ship out at sea. But this is what I enjoy. I enjoy doing this. I won't see any wildlife out here. The only wildlife I see is crows. Some crows flying around. But that's about it. I'm looking at my camera here. It looked like there was some rain last night. Early last night. It was 7:29. I have 4 or 5 deer out here. Looks like that small herd, maybe 6. I don't know. I didn't really count them all here. I see 3 anyway. But I think there's 4 or 5 out here. But on the camera at 7:31, it rained last night. And we had half a moon. And all my cameras worked last night. They worked fine. So that's a good sign. I see the deer spooking from the one camera. That's my Cabela's camera that does. They're out there. This window here. There's a hawk. There's one of the falcons. What is? Yeah. It's a red tail. Okay, it's a red tail out here. Looking for some quail. Kenny's quail. I don't know if he's got any out or not. But like I said, there's a piece of wild horse, another hunter. And he's coming over this way. I don't think I can catch him. But this way. Sometimes he swings by, gives it a circle around, looks in. No, he's going over that way. There he goes. He's right on the other side of that tree. Swinging away. Yeah, okay. But anyway, yeah, you can see my what I'm doing down here. I'm clearing out that field on the other side of what I had a food plot. So I'm clearing that out. I'm going to put some Indian grass there. It's going to cost me a little bit to do that, but it's what helps keep my deer in. And I don't have nothing on here right now. But anyway, you can hear that wind just blowing out here. Yeah. Really whipping up a storm. I don't know if we're going to have a storm. I'm supposed to have snow on Friday. It's really weird weather. I'm tired of the weird weather. I'm tired of being sick this year too. But the weird weather is strange. Now you got some bunnies here. It's 5:48 a.m. I didn't have too many pictures of deer last night. They didn't stay around long. But 5:48, I got some pictures here. I'll work this up a little bit. See what else I got here. Drop it around. So I got my bunnies out here, and they stayed around. I got at least 5 bunnies. 5 to 6 bunnies show up. And it looks like I got a little water on my camera here or something last night. It's got part of it clogged out. It's my #1 camera, which is my oldest camera, but it's been doing a job. They're really working nice. Anyway, let me see what I got here. I got a cat coming in at 7 a.m. Going to check around. He comes around. Sometimes he eats some of that corn. The cat does. It's a feral cat, I think. It's been living around here for a long time. It's a shame. It's a nice looking cat. Black and white, mostly black, big black saddle on white shoes, white feet, white belly. But I'm getting into my colored pictures now to see what showed up last night in color, and I like that. That's really neat. I got there's a doe and a yearling, I think, a doe and 2 yearlings on there, and they're looking down the long passage toward the house. Yeah, the doe and the yearling's gotten used to that Cabela's camera, which has a bright flash. It's almost like a car light. And usually when that goes on, they jump, but they don't jump no more. Not these three anyway. They've gotten used to it. Try to show you what I mean here. Yeah, these 3 deer has gotten used to this camera. She wouldn't be this close to it. A new deer coming in will really spook and jump away from that camera. As you see there's 5 deer there now. Yeah, 5 deer in that camera, and they were all there. Right? There's a doe and 2 does and 3 fawns. Yeah, they're there. So a nice little herd come in. Probably one of the herds. Like there's several herds that come in. There's one of them. There's 8 now. Look at these deer. They're looking out towards the back field back here, and there must be something moving out there, or they wouldn't be looking like that. Must be something else coming in. Yeah, these 2 here, a doe and a fawn, must have just came in. That's what the deer were looking at before on the other one. And they must be strangers because they're a little leery of the camera going off. The bright light, they must think it's a car, but the one on the left here, it looks like she's used to that camera. So she's not spooked. Yeah, she's just hanging in there. See this deer here. See how she will react. Boy, the wind was blowing here on this. You can hear it going by that camera. Yeah, it is a little spooked. But they got the corn pretty well eaten up, so there's not too much left. I guess the birds and rabbits will get the rest of that. There's the daytime. That's what you were just looking at, the area. That's my food plot and my new field I'm going to plant. Well, this was a walk. I made it up to that tree up down there. One of those oak trees. Rested against there. Started out about 10 feet away and lost a snowshoe. So I took off the other one and I walked the rest of the way, all the way up. Through here, all the way up, and walking deep up to here. Then I stopped, checked the cameras out. Then I walked over, right down through here, yeah, and finally into the treehouse. That was a walk. That snow is up the calves of my legs. Down there, it's much deeper, up to my waist, down towards the house, so, or even my chest in places.
Where we were plowing up the ground here. We plowed it up with the snow plow to get rid of the grass and the weeds out of this area. And I've used the Mitsubishi with the snow plow on it to get rid of those. Let's stop and push it out of the way. And then we brought up the Kubota over here. We moved them rocks out of the way. We cleared the area up after putting it out. we were finally got the rocks all cleared up, and we put the plow on and plowed the ground real good and raked it. We raked the ground, moved the rocks out, but there was a lot of rocks, and had that nice and smooth. Then I came up with my little tractor, my little Agway tractor that I bought in 1983, and that was just a lawnmower, and believe it or not, a little lawnmower, but it had the cast iron transmission on it, and it really does a great job. I plow a lot of fields with it. So I put my little plow on it, replowed the ground again, raked it with my little rakes. Then I brought up a bed spring rake and smoothed out the ground with that. Then I went and planted my crops, put corn down, and put some wheat killer down over that. After that started to come up. But then something happened to that corn that never did take place, so soybeans were put in. Soybeans grew pretty good, and I put also the Indian grass down, which came up spotty, but we'll see this year. Hoping it really took place. But anyway, then of course at nighttime, then the deer started to come in, and the other animals, all the other little animals came in, and you'll see some of these little animals on some of the pictures, I guess. I've been preparing the ground. I've been preparing the ground up to this point for the spring planting, where I plant a food plot for our deer that might be coming in this during the summer and the fall months. Hoping that they'll stay around and hang in here and food. But it took a lot of work out there. I just don't. This is my way of hunting now. I try to put a food plot in, keep the deer in around this area, so they'll come in to come to something to come in there, and. They seem to be hanging around. There's some of the critters, and then I got some doe or deer come in, or a little herd, after the ground was all cut up. And of course the raccoons, they come around also, and the other little critters, the rabbits and all that. We're snooping around to see what's going on about. What I got to talk about here is the little critters, like the blackbirds. The blackbirds are a mess. They're a hindrance to your crops. Anything you put in the ground, they come down right after you put it in the ground. They sit in the trees and watch. And when you plant something in the ground, they come down and check it out. Now they can pick up a grain of corn that you had just planted, and then figure out that the next grain of corn will be 6 inches away, and actually go down and pick that out of the ground. Or another thing they do is they wait for a while, and as soon as the corn starts to sprout out of the ground, a little bit of green comes up. They pull the rest of the corn up and eat the grain off the bottom of that little plant. And of course they kill the plant. That's the end of it. Then the next little critters are, we'll say, these raccoons. What a mess they are. The female raccoon will have at least sometimes eight little babies, and so this makes a little troop that comes around at nighttime, and they can actually destroy a small cornfield. They'll tear all the corn up, pull it down, whatever, just before you go to plant it. They know exactly when it's right. No, not before you plant it, but just before you go to harvest it to eat. They know just when it's perfectly right. And the next thing is your little rabbits. Oh, the rabbits are cute. I've got a lot of little rabbits. They run all around. They have a ball. But when your crops start to poke up through the ground, they also have a ball there, and they start eating all that good little green stuff that's popping out of the ground. They love that. Anyway, they're your critters. They are destructive. Now let's look at the nice looking deer. We like deer. I actually love the deer. I love to eat the meat when it comes the time to harvest the deer. But the deer also destroy a lot of trees, young trees, any kind of trees. Your apple trees and your peaches, they get out there, and even the corn. They rub their antlers on the corn and on the side of the trees, and they tear the bark off. And of course, then the winter gets a hold of that, and the next year you wonder why your tree died. And it's because the deer had been rubbing on it and took the bark off, and the frost and the cold ice killed that tree. But so they do a lot of damage. They are nice and cute and all that stuff. And like I said, I do love them. I like to watch them. They're intelligent. They're really bright. Now let's look at a deer. Now, a deer is a tremendous animal. I mean, you think about this animal who can take a shot from a rifle, a bullet, or an arrow from a bow, and they can run 2 or 3 miles, and they don't drop over. Now, a human being could only go a couple feet before they drop over. But these animals can really survive, even being hit by a bullet. And look at these animals, how they live out in the cold, all the different weather. They really survive out there. And believe it or not, they don't go to veterinarians, or they don't go to a hospital and get medicine, or a doctor and get medicine, or get their hooves all bandaged up and all, but they survive. They are really survivors. And they're such an interesting animal. And that's why I like to film them and watch them, because they are nice. And of course, when the Great Spirit puts that animal in front of me, he's there for me to have or take. Yeah, I'm watching you. That's what this little deer is saying. He's peeking in my camera. But anyway, let's talk about survival. That little doe back there has a little fawn with her. She's a survivor. That's one that I watched her when she was just a yearling, and during doe season, somebody had shot her in her left rear foot, and it was down near her ankle. Anyway, and I didn't think she was going to make it. I thought maybe she had gangrene or something. But she made it. She made it up to like last year when she had 2 fawns. There were 2 nice little fawns she had. And I had a great time watching what she was doing with the fawns. And one of the fawns was born on my property. And the other one, I don't know where she had that one, but that one that was born somewhere else followed her around real close. The one that was born on my property stayed here. When the mom took off, she would take off with the other fawn and go for a couple days or so, and then come back and pick up the one that she left here. Well, that was pretty interesting to watch, and I was always wondering what happened. But there's a survivor. There's a doe that stayed around for maybe maybe she's going on her 3rd year now. And I like to see her if she can show up. Or maybe somebody took her during doe season last year. But we'll see. I'm going to watch her. But she's a little survivor. And this story is a little bit about her.